Hey there, Tiff here. Are you finding it overwhelming with those big goals that you want to achieve in your sport? I know what it's like. I'm out there working on achieving a big goal right now myself. But sometimes it can be so overwhelming we just really don't know what to do. Well, don't go anywhere. I'm going to show you how we can manage that and make it more achievable so that you can achieve those big goals in a more simple way. So don't go anywhere. I'll be with you very shortly. Hey there, Tiff here. Welcome to Ambition Habits. So lovely to have you here today. It can be so overwhelming at times when you've got this huge goal that you want to accomplish, and sometimes it just feels so out of reach. It's so hard, and the motivation's just not there to accomplish it. And so what we need to do is we need to have some practical strategies in place that's going to help us make it quite achievable so that we can feel so much better about what we're doing, not feeling so overwhelmed and overworked and stressed and tired about this big goal that we're going after. We've got a more manageable way in which we've got our goals set up in place so that we can feel like we're actually getting somewhere, feel like that we're motivated, feel like that we're focused, feel like that we're actually enjoying the ride as well, because you've got to enjoy the ride. It shouldn't be a hard slog. Remember, it's all about enjoying your sport, not whipping yourself and beating yourself up, and you've got to be so much better. You can enjoy the journey. That's going to make it much more worthwhile if you're enjoying the process of the development of you, more so than thinking that you've just got to get there and win that particular tournament or event. It's all about what you're doing along the path that's going to help you get to where you want to go. So let's look at your big goal. Let's say that you're going after a tournament. I'm going after a big tournament this year myself. I've only started a new sport in the last 12 months, but I'm still going to go and compete in a big tournament this year. I'm really excited about it. But let's say you've got this big goal that you've set for yourself. What is it? You can tell me. Right, leave a comment down below or wherever you hear this episode. Let me know what your big goal is. But I want you to have that big goal. We need to have that big goal. We need a purpose, right? We need something that's going to drive us. But by setting that big goal, we have to be really clear on what it is that we want from that goal, right? So for me, I want to actually win this particular tournament that I'm going to go and compete in. Very early on into the sport though, right? I'm setting myself a huge goal. But that's okay. That's what's exciting about it. Doesn't matter if it doesn't happen, right? In my world, as long as I'm focused on achieving my milestones and having everything in place to get me into competing in that tournament, that's huge, right? Winning is going to be the bonus, right? Getting there is going to be the big thing. It's the path. But I want you to get really clear on what it is that you want, right? So number one is getting really clear on that big goal of what you want to accomplish. Got to get that clarity around that big goal. The second thing that we want to do is we want to get really clear on setting up some achievable milestones or checkpoints that you can then be focused on having in place, which are your more manageable, achievable style goals that you're doing. Like step one, you've got to do a particular thing and achieve that before you can get to step two. Step two or phase two is the next thing that you've got to get to. Phase three is the next thing you've got to get to, and so on, right? So if you then set up you've got very clear on your big goal what it is, but then if you break it down and you go, okay, well, this is milestone one, this is milestone two, this is milestone three, then you're focused on doing that particular milestone and getting that accomplished first before you move on to the next one. And then it doesn't seem so overwhelming. It just seems so much more manageable, and it does really motivate you, and it keeps you way more focused and reduces the overwhelm. The third thing that you can do is you can actually then, that particular milestone that you want to accomplish, or that phase, then you could actually break it down into even smaller, more manageable goals. So what could be something that you could do there? Let's think about that. So you've got your big goal, and then you've got like a milestone that you want to accomplish. What is it that you could do to break it down even smaller, so you've got these even small little achievable goals that's going to help you achieve that particular phase or milestone? Okay, I'm just going to jump to let's say you're just going to go and play competition in your sport, right? So you're going to get prepared to play in a competition, not playing that big tournament or that big goal that you're after, but what you want to do is you want to go and play in a weekly competition. So let's say you've got the goal in your milestone. Your big goal is you want to play this major tournament, and then your milestone for that, your first milestone is for you to then go and compete in your local competition, right? So then you've put your name down to go and compete in your local competition, whatever that is, whether you're a team or individual. And then what you could then do is break that milestone down into, okay, well, how can I get myself tournament ready or competition ready? What are the things that I need to focus on there? So there could be something like, okay, I'll use golf as an example because that comes to mind very quickly, is I want to be able to hit my tee shots straight down the fairway. Okay, I want straight tee shots. So I don't want them to go left or right down, down the fairway. I want them to go nice and straight, right? You could track that, right? That's something achievable. That's something that you could go and practice at the driving range as well, is work on that particular skill that you want to focus on. Or it could be, okay, I want to go and work on my putting, and I want to be able to sink those really short 1 metre putts, and I want to get really confident in that. So then you set yourself, okay, for me to be competing in my local competition, I need to make sure that every 1 metre or less putt that I'm able to sink that, right? So then how am I going to be able to do that? Okay, well, I need to then go and practice that in my practice time, and I have to go and work on putting pressure on myself in sinking that putt into the hole every time I'm standing over the ball. So I always say to people when they're first starting out in their putting journey is to focus on sinking 5 in the hole in a row, because that starts to build up focus, getting your line right, getting the feel right, but also it starts to build some confidence. When you do that, then you aim for 10. But you just want to have things set in place so it's just small, it's achievable, and it's preparing you for what you're wanting to be doing moving forward. So we want a small achievable goal, so that if we can say, okay, I want to be able to hit my tee shot down the center of the fairway when I stand on the tee box, that's great. Okay, and that's what I want to track my whole round for that particular competition that day, is I want to be able to get all my tee shots down the center of the fairway. Big tick, right? So what you're doing is you've broken it down into like a little small achievable goal for that particular competition that you're going to play that on that week or that day, and then you're like, right, okay, great, I know how to do that. Then the next goal I'm going to focus on is, playing my pitch shots, being more accurate with my pitch shots into the green at a particular distance. Okay, so it's just breaking it down so that you've got this little goal, right, that's going to help you then set up to achieving the milestone, and the milestone's going to help you set up achieving your big goal. So I hope that makes sense, because that's a really good way to do it. Break it down, make it easy, just like a skill. When you're learning a skill, break it down into small, manageable little pieces. Okay, so number 4 is list actionable tasks, and that's just what I've really been talking about, is you want to break that milestone down into those little small, actionable, achievable tasks. Get those skills in place so that you can set it up so that you're managing how you put everything together, right? We want to work on and break it down into these tiny little achievable pieces, little achievable chunks, so that we're setting ourselves up to go achieve this lovely milestone that we've set for ourselves, that helps set us up to then achieve the next milestone that we've set for ourselves, and then we go through the same process. But if we make it small, easy, bite-sized pieces so that it's achievable, then it's so much easier to get to the goal that you're after, because you know what you're doing, right? You know what you need to work on. Number 5 is to regularly review what's going on. So you may have heard me talk about this in a previous episode, but I want you to daily look at what's working well. Daily look at what's not working well, right? Record it. Have a workbook that you work through with your particular sport, and take notes down every day that you do a training session for it, a practice session for it, a competition session. Take notes and understand what works well for you and what doesn't work well for you, because then you know what you need to then do moving forward. You'll know how to reset yourself, right, moving forward, or you'll know that you just keep doing what you're doing because you can see the progress. So if you're reviewing it daily, then you're reviewing it weekly, and you're also reviewing it monthly, or looking at each phase. So you could do it this way. It's a really good way to do it. Is like when you've got your big goal, and then you've got your milestone, and then you've got your small achievable goals. You look at, have I set up, and am I achieving that small achievable goal, and that small achievable goal, and that small achievable goal, whatever it is that you're focusing on, right? Does that help build and help me achieve that milestone? Right? If yes, it tells you that you're on the right track. Gives you the feedback that you need. So then when you then focus on the next milestone, the next checkpoint, the next phase, whatever it is that you're focusing on, then you break it down into those small little manageable chunks again. Is it designed to help you achieve that milestone? And if you're tracking it daily, then you know what's going on, right? If you're checking in and taking notes and finding out what's working well, finding out what's not working well, understanding what's working around your mindset, what's not working around your mindset, what's working with the skills, what's not working with your performance when you compete, what is working with your performance when you compete, what's the mental language you're using, right? Positive self-talk, negative self-talk, all of this stuff. If you're checking in and finding out what's working and what's not working, then it helps you stay focused on where you need to go, but it also gives you the feedback. It's all about getting the feedback so that you know what you need to be focused on, so that's going to help you achieve what it is you need to be working on. And that is why you need to make sure that you're checking in with it on a daily process, like a daily action, right? Weekly action, monthly action, phase action, milestone action. Find out what is working well for you. Get the feedback. I can't express to you enough. Get the feedback of what is working well, what is not, right? Gives you all the detail you need. And that's the power of reviewing it, okay? Getting the feedback, reviewing, understanding what's going on. Don't be mindless as a competitor, sports competitor, and rely on the coach to do everything. Get tuned in and really understand what is working well, what is not, right? Be your coach for you. You can do this. You can achieve your goals, but you just got to make sure that you've got everything in place that's going to set you up for success. Number 6, use some goal tracking tools. So there are some apps out there. I'm old school. I tend to use a workbook. I like to work through a workbook, and you can use spreadsheets and all of that kind of thing. But find a way in which it's going to help you track what's actually going on, what's working well, what's not working well, getting the feedback that you need so that you can understand what's going on, so how you can then better improve so that you can accomplish that big sports goal. And number 7, I think this is so important. Celebrate the wins. celebrate the small wins, celebrate those milestone wins. So if you've accomplished a milestone, yep, do something to celebrate it. It can be anything, it can be something simple, but I want you to feel proud that you've actually accomplished it, because we tend to not really acknowledge the small wins, the small successes. We tend to wait for the big success to come, and we're not then focused on, you know, creating the journey, because it's really the journey that you go on that actually then helps develop you as a sports person, develops you as a person, and helps you understand you more, and also gives you the tools and strategies that you need in order to accomplish that goal. So what I want you to make sure that you're doing is you celebrate those milestone wins that you create for yourself, because then I want you to feel proud, like you're the one that's stepping into the arena, you're the one that's stepping in there and competing. So if you're giving yourself a pat on the back as such, right, something nicer than that of course, but just acknowledging that you've achieved that and go, yep, well done Tiff, yep, I'm so proud of me. Maybe buy yourself a little gift or whatever it is that's going to make you feel good about that, then that's a huge benefit to you in your development, in moving forward and still progressing towards those big goals. So I hope that makes sense to you. You've really got to make sure that you celebrate the wins of those milestones as well, because when you get to the big one, it's going to be worthwhile. Now that you know how to break it down, make it more actionable for you, so that you're cutting down the overwhelm of these big goals that you're after, and you've put it into more manageable bite-sized chunks that you can actually now achieve, I'm going to share with you some advantages of why putting that in place, what it does for you. So first thing it does is it builds confidence, because you feel more confident. You don't feel overwhelmed anymore. You feel like there's belief there that you can actually achieve something, because you've put those small, manageable, achievable goals in place, and you actually feel better. It doesn't feel so far out of reach then. Number two, it reduces the overwhelm. Like I was saying before, when you've got a big goal, like I've got this big goal of going to the Australian Open for lawn bowls. I've taken up its lawn bowls in the last 12 months. And it's a huge goal, and when I've been out playing in competition the last few months, I'm like, I'm so not ready. I stand out there and I perform my shots and so on, and I'm like, I'm so not ready. But what I've done is I've reduced the overwhelm, and then I've started on really focusing on what it is that I need to accomplish and what I need to do in order to achieve that goal of going to that tournament and competing the way that I envisage myself in competing. So we want to reduce the overwhelm. So that's so important. And not only reduce the overwhelm, we just want to feel like we're in more control. So we don't have that worry of like, oh geez, I don't think I'm ready for this. Yeah, I'm ready. All right, I've got a few things I've still got to learn along the way, but I'll be ready, right? So that's what we want to make sure is that for you, is that you're ready for your big goal that you're going after. Third thing it does is it provides such clarity. You're so focused, you're so clear on where you're headed, and you know what you need to do, so you just get out there and you do the work. Fourth thing it does is that it actually allows for adjustment. So what I was talking about before, like reviewing and reflecting and checking in and seeing what's going on, when you're doing all of that, what it then does for you is that it allows you then to adjust. So, you know, because then you discover what's working well, what's not working well, how to adjust if it's not working well. You're getting all these insights, so you get a better understanding of what you actually need to be doing to help you achieve that goal. So it's great, because then you can just adjust when you need to. The fifth thing it does is it facilitates problem solving. So we all know when we have a problem come to us, because we, you know, in any area of our lives we have problems that or challenges that come our way, it actually shows us by, if we break them down and put them into bite-sized pieces, that it's more manageable. And when it's more manageable, it's easier to take on. When it's easier to take on, it reduces the overwhelm, and it also teaches us a valuable skill in learning how to problem solve. So you go, okay, well, that's not working, I'm not doing that correctly. Like, how am I going to fix it, and how am I going to make it better? And then you start searching for the answers on how you are going to improve it. The sixth thing it does is that it actually builds momentum, right? Because you've got these smaller goals in place, because they're actionable and easy and manageable, it builds the momentum because you know what you need to be focusing on. Like, I love focusing on setting my goals up each week, going, okay, this is what I got to focus on this week, because I know what I'm doing, I know what I need to focus on. I also love it when I go and compete in my sport, because when I walk off the rink, off the green, then I know, great, okay, this is what I've learnt today, this is what I've got to focus on moving forward, this is what's going to help me improve. It's so powerful. And when we have that checking in and that reflecting and understanding, it does build the momentum, because we get excited about it and we want to keep going, we want to keep improving, we want to keep working on achieving our sports dreams. And the seventh thing it does, it enables you to develop skills. Think of all the skills that you develop when you're playing sport. So you're learning how to problem solve, you're learning how to focus, you're learning how to concentrate, you're learning how to handle challenges, you're learning how to handle obstacles, you're learning how to deal with other people, you're learning how you operate, you're learning skills on how to break things down in each particular skill in that sport that you play, and you can understand what works well, what you need to make it work well, what doesn't work for you, how to improve that. You're learning strategies on gameplay. There's so much more that you're learning from that, and it's so beneficial for you because it teaches you so many skills. So if you can work on improving your mindset, working on improving skills, work on improving problem solving, work on communication, like all of those things and more, then you're going to be not only a better sports competitor, but you're going to be better as a person as well, right? There's so much, right? It builds confidence. You're going to feel so confident about yourself because you know who you are, you know what you're on about, you know how you're going to achieve your goal, and you walk with pride because you're proud of yourself, because you're setting yourself up for success. That's a great thing. Great. So now you know what you need to be focusing on. You want to get out there, build that momentum, enhance that motivation. Even the kookaburra you can hear in the background is excited for you too. So hope you enjoyed today's episode. Love it if you could share with me below, wherever you hear or see this episode, what you like best about what you heard today. And before you go, if you want to break through the barrier and build self-confidence, I've got the 3 steps to building self-confidence. All you need to do is go to tiffany-mica.com. Love to see you there. And remember this before you go: dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Take care, talk soon, bye for now.